All right, for the next pick, I'm going back to the Big Ten. BYU's traveling to Wisconsin. Wisconsin's laying 3 touchdowns, minus 21. You got to jump on the Badgers here. Yeah, the BYU looked good in week one against Arizona, but Arizona's a soft team. They don't handle a physical team very well. BYU is a more physical team. You saw how well BYU did against a little bit more physical team in Cal in week two. Not so much. They're a home favorite. They lost that game outright. So now they got to go on the road and they got to play the most physical team, probably close to the most physical team in all of college football in Wisconsin. They got that power rush game going on up there. They got one of the top 5 offensive lines in the nation. They got one of the best running backs in the nation. And I just expect BYU to struggle with this more physical team. Wisconsin's offense is averaging 530 yards a game, 204 through the air, 326 on the ground. And the defense, 258 total yards, 157 through the air, 101 on the ground. So, BYU, again, is you can tell there's a trend developing amongst my picks this week. Really going on defenses that teams are struggling to move the ball with, and if you can't move the ball, how are you going to score? Wisconsin, very power rush team. They won week one and week two both by 31 points a game. This week they get wide receiver Davis back from suspension, so they get an added pass dimension there. So an extra threat on the outside. I don't know how many snaps he's going to play, but it at least helps with the passing game. But who really needs to throw the ball when you can run for 326 yards a game? And finally, last note, Wisconsin 6-0 ATS before the Iowa game. And guess who's on deck next week? That's right, Iowa. Wisconsin likes to use the game before Iowa as warm-up, tune-up, make sure they get all the wrinkles worked out so that everything is clicking on high cylinders for their Big Ten West rivalry. So I look for them to continue that trend this week against BYU. Wisconsin minus 21. There are some sites where this is Wisconsin minus 21 and a half. I would not lay that extra half a point. I only want this at 21 or less. I haven't actually placed this yet because DraftKings is only offering this at 21 and a half. So I'm hoping that they move this down to 21 so that I get to get in on the action. If not, I might. They don't sell half points there, so I might just miss this one. But I'm still backing it here with the JMG picks. Wisconsin minus 21 versus BYU. All right, heading back to the SEC for Week 9. You got Vanderbilt traveling to Notre Dame. Notre Dame's 2 touchdown favorite in this game, and I'm going to snatch up the points with Vanderbilt. I went against Vanderbilt in Week 1 because I wasn't sure what to expect from this defense. I thought the offense would be a bit improved since they got a lot of experience back on the offensive line and they'd be able to control the ball a little bit more. I guess I didn't realize how much that would benefit the defense to get a little bit extra breather on the sidelines. And they're really stepping up this year. The Vanderbilt defense is only giving up 272 yards per game, 197 through the air, and only 75 on the ground. On the other side, Notre Dame, it's not like they're a slouch on defense either. They're only giving up 328, 215 in the air, 113 on the ground. So you got 2 check plus defenses going here. And to me, that indicates that you're going to have a tight, low-scoring game. And in tight, low-scoring games, you want to snatch up as many points as you can possibly get because you're not going to expect a blowout. Notre Dame's offense is struggling. I've been super critical of Notre Dame's offense to all my Notre Dame friends that are fans, and I just they don't run the ball enough. Last year they had so much success because they ran the ball, right? Wimbush was named the starting quarterback because he gives them the running dimension. But they're not running the ball at all. Like they're putting Wimbush back there like he's the greatest pocket passer in the world, and that's not his strong suit. They need to let him get out there and make plays. So you got 2 check plus defenses and a struggling offense. That's where it all lays. Vandy offense, they're doing just fine, looking good out the gate, averaging 407 per game, 187 through the air, 220 on the ground, getting it done on the ground. So you get the better offense and you get the points with probably the same defense. So that's all 3 check marks right there. And then finally, Notre Dame is 1-6 as home favorites, greater than 7 points. This is 14 points right here. So But you take that. I locked it in on Tuesday at plus 14 and a half. I do believe it's moved to 14 at all locations, but that's still great. Anything above 10, you should be able to get. So I'm backing Vanderbilt at anything above 10, but knock that in right now. Vanderbilt plus 14. For the final pick of week 3, I'm going to take a smaller game. Probably not going to get a lot of action in this game, but the line is moving actively. Yeah, I'm looking at Arkansas State minus 1.5 at Tulsa. On Tuesday when I looked at this, it was Tulsa plus 2.5, and I locked that in, so I got it at plus 2.5. It's down to 1 or 1.5 at most places now, but you can still get the value there. I fully expect Tulsa to win this game outright. I mean, there's no stats really involved with this decision. It's basically looking at the way that these teams have played, who they've played, and now where they're at in their current find themselves in week 3. And when you look at these teams, what you see is you see two teams with good offenses and struggling defenses. So this is probably going to be a high-scoring game. And as I've said before, high-scoring game, you have two equal offenses. You want to get as many points as you can. That's why we took Boise State in the points against Oklahoma State, and that's why we're taking Tulsa in the points here at home. Both of these teams are coming in off of road games against Power 5 teams. Arkansas State went to Alabama, got absolutely destroyed. I mean, they averaged. I mean, they ended up getting quite a few yards against this Alabama defense, but they weren't able to put any points, like hardly any points on the board. I mean, and they just got beat up. And you go play against Alabama and see how you feel for the next couple of days. It's going to take longer for you to recover. It really is. These guys are they're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster than other college players, and it will take you longer to recover if you're not used to playing against them. So Arkansas State is going to be a little bit banged up. Tulsa, they're coming in off of a Power 5 game against Texas. Now, I mean, they were actually competitive in that game. They only lost that game by 7. I mean, obviously Texas is not on Alabama's caliber. A lot of people from Texas would like you to believe that they are. They will lie straight to your face and tell you that they are, but that's a lie. Tom Herman, he's going to get the ship righted down there in Arlington, but it's not going to be, or Austin, but it's not going to be this year. It'll probably be next year. He's got to get his quarterback situation figured out. But anyway, Arkansas State and Tulsa, back to the game at hand. And this is finally the last thing for me is Arkansas State. This is the second of back-to-back road games. I like to target teams that are second of back-to-back road games. These are young guys. They're not used to going on the road and traveling and doing those types of things. It impacts their schedule if they have a schedule, but it throws them off. And so you never know how teams are going to react to that. Some guys thrive from travel, but most guys do not. And I think that's going to hurt Arkansas State, especially after getting beat up by Alabama. So yeah, so that's it. That's my why. And I mean, I know there's not a lot to hang on there, but it's just, I mean, it's you got two equal teams and you get one getting points at home. What else do you need? Tulsa plus 2.5.